Now, in this construction of quadratic equation, it's just basically how do I construct quadratic equation? How can I form question myself and give it to someone else? Or if I solve quadratic equation, how can I how can I form the equation back from my answer? Quadratic equation, the answer is always like two values. For instance, for the question I solved earlier in the previous video, we said x is equals to 2 and x equals to 1. Now the thing here is that how can I construct quadratic equation from these two values? Definitely from here I can say x minus 2 equals 0 or x minus 1 equals 0. That's the first thing I can do. So from here, if I say let's multiply, remember I said this in the previous video that if I multiply two linear equations together, I should be having quadratic equation. So let's multiply this thing. X minus 2, x minus 1 equals 0. So let's multiply this. X times x, this is how it will, the demonstration will actually go. This with this, this with this, and also this with this, and this with this. So let's go by multiplying x times x, that's x square. X times minus 1 is minus x. The next one, minus 2 times x is minus 2x. Minus 1 times minus 2, that's plus 2 equals 0. So from here I can say x square minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So I have constructed the quadratic equation from this root here. I have formed my quadratic equation. That means quadratic equation can be constructed from the root of the quadratic equation. When I say root, the root simply means the answer of the quadratic equation. So that means let's solve more questions. That means if I call the first value, I will say x equals to 2 or x equals to minus 1. That means in this case, if I say the first answer should be alpha and second answer should be beta. Now, if I bring these things together here, will I still get my value? Okay, let's assume that it would be x minus alpha multiplied by x minus beta equals 0. So let's check. Let's try to open this. We are going to say x times x is x square. X times beta is minus, okay, x times beta is minus beta x, minus alpha times x is minus alpha x, minus times minus is plus, then alpha times beta is alpha beta equals 0. So from this point I can say x square, minus is common to alpha and beta, yes, so minus into brackets beta x plus alpha x plus alpha beta equals 0. Okay, from here x is also common to both, so I can bring x out and I can rewrite it, I can arrange it since alpha comes before beta. So I can say x square minus into brackets alpha plus beta close bracket x, since x both has x times alpha x, x times beta x, plus is still plus alpha beta equals 0. That means generally quadratic equation is just, to form your quadratic equation you can only say that x square minus, these are the roots now, this alpha is the first answer, beta is the second answer, so we can call them sum of the roots. That's sum of roots x plus product of roots without putting x equals 0. That is, if I do this kind of thing, in any cases I'll get my final answer. Let's test this formula. Let's test it for this example. So we say x equals to 2 or x equals to 1. So that means my alpha here is 2, my beta is 1. So that means my quadratic equation will be, assuming I know the formula before, I can say x square minus into brackets, sum of the roots will be 2 plus 1, that's 3. Then I should put x at the back, plus product of the root, that's 2 times 1, 2, that's 2 equals 0. That's x square minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So at this point you see that what I have here is the same thing as what I got here earlier. Now there's another way I can actually do this thing. From this expression here, I'm going to need it. Let's bring it out. Remember that in this case we have said x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equals 0. This is quadratic equation, abi? Okay, from here, that means I can say that let's find the value of alpha plus beta, and let's find the value of alpha beta. From here we can say, remember, recall this thing to ax square plus bx plus c equals 0. Now from here, recalling this thing or comparing this quadratic equation, you say that here I have x, ordinary x square, there's nothing before the x, the coefficient is 1, so divide all 2 by a by a by a can take away a, so what I'm left with is x square plus b over ax plus c over a equals 0. So from here, what can I do? There's something I can do. Now let's compare this equation here, this one that I have here. Let's compare it with this one that I have here. So by comparison, x square is tx square. So we can say x square is tx square. B over a here is minus alpha beta. That means I can say minus, open bracket, alpha plus beta, close bracket, x is the same thing as b over ax, isn't it? So x can take away x immediately, so I'm left with minus, open bracket, alpha plus beta equals to b over a. That means I can say alpha plus beta divided both sides by minus equals to minus b over a, which means whenever you are given a quadratic equation and they ask you that find the sum of the root, you can always say that what, minus b over a, instead of finding the answer and then you not be adding it. No. Okay, let's finish this, and we can also say that alpha beta is equals to what I have here, that's c over a equals to c over a, which means generally I can say that the sum of the roots, which is alpha plus beta, is always equals to minus b over a, and product of the roots alpha beta is always equals to c over a. How to construct quadratic equation. So whenever you want to construct quadratic equation, the best thing you can do is to say that what, call this equation that we have here, that we say x square minus sum of the roots x plus product of the roots x, or do the easy peasy. Once they say the roots are maybe anything, what do you say? Just bring them back. Recall, they say, okay, let's assume that they say let's quickly form one. X equals to, okay, they say construct the quadratic equation for the roots are minus 1 and 7. Now what will be this quadratic equation? How can I construct it? Remember, I can construct it in two ways. The first method, which is very easy, is that from here they have told you that x equals to minus 1 or x equals to 7. So from here I can bring it inside. If I bring them inside, that will be x plus 1 equals to 0 or x minus 7 equals to 0. So bring this guy and this guy together. That will be x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 7 equals to 0. So opening this bracket, that's x times x, x square, x times minus 7 minus 7x, 1 times x plus x, the last part, 1 times minus 7 equals to 0. So from here, that was x square minus 7 plus 1x, that's minus 6x minus 7 equals to 0, and this is the quadratic equation. So that means what I'm trying to say is that if I solve this quadratic equation here, the answer I must get must what? Must be minus 1 or 7. Another method you can use to solve this quadratic equation again, to solve this kind of question, is that how can you construct this quadratic equation? Is by using this formula. So if you want to use this formula, you say that x square minus, open bracket, sum of the roots. Now let's add it. Minus 7 plus 6 and minus 1 plus 7, that's 6, close bracket, x, put the x at the back, plus product of the root, minus 7 times minus 1 times 7, that's minus 7 equals 0, and that's x square minus 6x minus 7 equals 0. This is the same thing as what I have in this place. So that means you can see that both expression or both postulation works in this case. Now let's solve more questions on this.